Hi, and good evening. I'd like to welcome you to Poem Praise 2. I do thank you for tuning in, and I certainly hope that peace and blessings have been upon you and your family this evening. Now, we are going to get right back into How to Eat to Live is going to be today's reading. We're in book number 2. Right now we're on chapter 39. And it goes like this. Animal, flesh is a title. Now, How to Eat to Live is one of the best and greatest of advice to give a person or a people. Why did we get out of knowledge of how to eat to live? Our loss of knowledge of how to eat to live was due to the fact that we were living under the temporary rule of gods, in parentheses, the white race. It just says white race, excuse me, whose nature was not like ours. Since it is the nature of the white race to do the opposite of right and to oppose the natural good law of God, of the righteous. This caused the wrong foods to be eaten by the eater. Therefore, we have been eating the wrong food under the rule of the white race. Remember the Bible symbol, like language in Genesis, of the man-made serpent, devil, talking to Eve, who represents the righteous. The man-made serpent condemned what God had said to Eve, and he wrongly accused the God of trying to deprive Eve of knowledge that she should have. However, Eve should have known the difference between the evil and the good, and should not have taken the serpent, devil, for a guide. Taking the man-made devil for a guide is the mistake that the lost found black people have made and continue to make. They take the opposer of God to be their right guide. Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, said to me, eat one meal a day and eat the right kind of food in that meal. Animal, flesh. No. But we are not committing a sin by eating animal flesh if we cannot help ourselves. But do not eat the hog by any means. Even if we are starving, we should not eat the flesh of the hog. Originally, the hog was not on our planet. The hog was made after the making of the man-made white man, and he was made for the made man. The hog was not made for the original man, black man. The famous meats that the black man eats are beef and lamb. We eat chicken and fowl, but they are not good for us, nor are birds good for us to eat, except the young pigeon, which we call the squab. The squab is good to eat when it is young and not yet flown from its nest. But when the squab flies from its nest, do not eat him. Before the making of the white man, the black man did not eat animal flesh. After the removal of the white man, there will be no more eating of this type of meat, animal flesh, or even fowl. There will be a complete stoppage and practice of the eating of land flesh, regardless to whether it is an animal, beef, or fowl. The people will live 1,000 years without eating them. Chapter 40. Meat never intended for man to eat. Eat 1 meal per day, nothing between meals, and eat the right food. We eat meat, but meat was never intended for man to eat from the very creation of man. We have been eating meat. Why? Because the ruler of this nation of earth for the past 6,000 years is an enemy of the original man, who has inhabited the earth from the time unknown to man. People that have been populating the earth here for billions and trillions of years would not eat the wrong food if they had not been made to suffer for guidance under a made enemy of theirs. And the enemy does not follow what we, the original man, had and was practicing. It is true, according to the teachings of the Almighty God to me, that He calls us to eat the wrong foods. He is doing it Himself, and any man, the original black man, who comes into his civilization, He tries to force him to eat the wrong foods. I have seen him doing this, and we whom He reared Himself and had the power over us after destroying the knowledge of self from us. The white race, or the Caucasian, or devil, eats all kinds of poison. Frogs, snakes, and all filthy scavengers of water. He eats it and invites you to eat it. But they know it is not good. He eats all kinds of fowls. He knows they are not good for us to eat. And wild fowls at that. And he eats wild animals and beasts of the jungle, that which he digs up out of the earth, of the live creatures that live under the earth's surface. He knows that it's not good to eat for himself and you too. But he advertises it, that it is all right to eat. Everything he eats, he tells you it is all right. So, if you follow the white race food eating, you are bound to eat the wrong food for your consumption. So I warn you against the food of this race. They do not eat the good food because they found us eating the good food, and to make a world different from ours, they had to resort to eating the wrong food so that they could say that they established something which we did not have or were not doing. The Holy Quran refers to the white man as eating like a beast. They eat as the beast. This is true. They do not deny it. The Bible teaches us against eating their dainty meats, which is a warning that you may be eating the wrong meat. Since they learned that their time was limited, among us on earth, they have studied everything possible that was an enemy to us, to make us to accept that enemy and like the enemy. The old filthy hog was not made to be taken as food for us, nor them. Allah taught me from His mouth that they made hog for medical purposes. Since he was a weak human being created for the purpose of weakening the strong black man in every way possible, they knew he was going to carry lots of diseases because of the essence that they were made out of themselves, the weak germ of the original black man. These thousands of different kinds of foods that he offers you, be aware, they are not to keep you alive, but to kill you. Do not think that they are following the right way by eating that which he himself eats. Do not eat that which this book has warned you not to eat. And do not eat like the beast. Every hour or two or whenever food is offered to them, they will eat it. How can you live? Eating poison and keeping your stomach trying to digest food 24 hours per day. More next time. How to eat to live. 1 meal per day. Proper food preparation is the next section. We're going to go on to chapter 41. Cook thoroughly done. Milk and bread are best foods. Milk is our first food. Bread is next. Man has been drinking milk continuously throughout his life from cows, sheep, goats, camels, and buffalo. Since we still crave for this food and drink it, for after leaving our mother's breast, we go to the breast of cattle, the balance of our lives. We should raise these cattle under the most protected eye for their good health. The pure milk fat that we call butter should not be mixed with vegetable fat. It should be eaten without mixing it like grandmother and grandfather ate it. Substitute foods are destroying a great percentage of good health. Pure wheat makes the best bread. Having the knowledge that bread is easy to digest, we must remember that to get the best results out of wheat bread, we must cook it thoroughly done. This is to prevent it from doing too much rising, which will cause the stretching of the stomach and other intestines. Brown the bread deep as possible to a color of deep brown. Do not make your rolls and loaves too thick. Make them thin so that the dough can be cooked and browned through and through. If not able to cook it thoroughly due to its thickness, cook it a second time by the same process that you did at first. Add yeast, a little more than the first time, milk and water to the bread. Stir it and let it sit and sour again. Let it rise. Good. Knead it. And then put it back into the oven to cook a second time. This second cooking double prepares it for digestion in our stomachs. Cooking the bread a third or fourth time makes it still better. We kill ourselves in the way we prepare our food. We are too hasty in the preparation of our food, and some of the freshly baked white bread is fancy to the eyes. But it will not do a fancy good. It will shorten your life and soon kill you. Take plenty of time to prepare your food the right way for cooking, and then cook it right, not in haste. Think about the order of hot biscuits. This is a foolish way of looking at and taking bread for the stomach fresh as soon as it comes out the oven. No, bread cooked the first day should be eaten that same day. You should wait a couple days before eating it. There is no such thing as stale bread. Get away from this belief. The older the bread, the better it is for your life. The little mold on the bread are not poison. Brush it off and eat the bread, and if you eat some of the mold, it will not harm you. Back 50, 60 or more years ago, when people did not take time to prepare their bread right, many did not use yeast. They used a kind of baking powder. They were made sick time and again from the hasty preparation and eating of this bread. Many of our people fry dough on top of the stove, pancakes, slang, flapjacks. This bread which you put in your stomachs to be digested is hardly done. If you could look at it working in the stomach, it would look as raw as it did before you put it on the stove. This is hard work on the digestive system. Please cook your bread thoroughly. Done. Whatever bread you eat, never eat it freshly cooked, i.e., the same day that it is cooked. If you toast today's bread, you should let it brown to a deep color, almost a burn, so that it will be easily digested. So that was cooking it thoroughly till it's done. Now, I'm going to give you a preview of what our next chapter is going to be for chapter 42, Eat Properly Prepared Food. So that does complete the 3 chapters we have today here on Poem Praise 2. I want you and your family to be blessed. If you like, hit the like button, subscribe, and comment if you like below. Or you may comment also at poempraise2@yahoo.com. So until next time, be blessed, and I'll talk with you later. Till then, later, y'all.